Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. We greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. So let's talk about The Chi. The Chi pilot, season 1, episode 1. Let's get into it. We got Krugy. You know, he finds a dead body. Basically, he's out there feeding the dog Slim Jims or whatever. So this kid is aimlessly running around feeding dogs at night, buying Slim Jims. He's not home. You don't see him study, doing his homework. You don't see any guidance around him, any parents. So he's riding around, and his first instinct, once he's seen, you know, the dead body of the guy being shot, he doesn't know who actually shot him. All he knows is he heard a disturbance, and then pow pow, and then he goes to the corner, he sees a dead body, and he starts to check the guy's pockets. You know, like, damn, like, he's 16 years old, and that's the first thing that comes to mind is to check his pockets, take his sneakers, and he stashed, you know, the evidence, but he still got some blood on him, because that's what Detective Cruz tells him. So he stashes his book bag, he stashes his bike or whatever, and he's walking, you know, in a crowd of people like it ain't no thing or whatever. And then boom, the cops body slammed him to the ground, take him in, and they want to ask him questions. And basically, Krugy's not going to give the cops any information, but the Detective Cruz thinks Krugy is a good kid, because, you know, he said, I don't use cell phones because they cause cancer. And, you know, Detective Cruz knows that he's a smart kid. He ain't gonna say anything, because if he wants to stay alive or whatever. So and then that's when we get, you know, Ronnie's coming out his house or whatever, and he's talking to the two boys in the neighborhood, Curtis and another guy. And basically, you know, Ronnie's trying to holler at a female, but she's dissing him. He was like, oh, well, you ain't even better than my last female, or my ex, which is Tracy. And then it was like, oh, Tracy ain't coming back, and Jason ain't even your son. So we see that Ronnie, you know, really loves Tracy, and he's still thinking about her today. It doesn't say how long they've been separated, but he did help raise Jason as his own. And so he loves Jason, and Jason is the kid that was murdered at the corner that Krugy found. And so all of a sudden the detectives show up, whoop whoop, and then, you know, they pat down Ronnie. Ronnie was like, I'm not going through this shit again. So it seems like Ronnie, you know, has been in the street before. He knows the ins and out of the street. I'm not sure if he's an OG or anything like that, but he has some knowledge of the cops, because the cops knew to come get Ronnie when Jason got killed. So the police are familiar with him. I don't know if Ronnie used to be running the streets. He's a former detective, a former cop. What is going on? So Ronnie finds out through Detective Cruz that Jason has been killed. They got one suspect in Creston. And so then, you know, Ronnie ends up seeing Tracy, you know, at the morgue, because Ronnie went to go view the body. Tracy's there. They hug, and they have a reunion over like death, over murder. And you know, Ronnie's back in her life, and she was like, Ronnie, I need you, we need to find out who did this, because, you know, the cops ain't gonna do shit, basically. So she's kind of like amping Ronnie up to find out, to be the own investigator, to find out what's going on, what happened to her son, because of course every mother wants to know what happened to her son and what's going on, but sometimes it can lead to a deadly end. So the cops is, you know, questioning Krugy's not giving them any information or nothing like that, so he's being released. But before then, you know, Brandon is Krugy's half brother, and Brandon and his girlfriend Jerrika get a phone call from Laverne, the mom or whatever, which she's from The Wire, so I love her, but her character on here is like the villain. And so, you know, she's at Brandon's house, and she's disrespectful, she's rude. It's just, and she does not like Jerrika for no reason, and she doesn't really like Brandon either for no reason. And I believe it's because she's having that jealousy of that, she thinking that Jerrika's taking her son away. Jerrika has a stable relationship with Brandon. You know, they're going places, they're doing things. He's working, she's working. They got a car, they got a nice apartment, and they have a good relationship. And she's single. She doesn't have a good relationship with, and it doesn't seem like any of the fathers around. And it seems like it's that age old hate that, you know, this woman is stealing my son, or she thinks she's better than me because she has this or she has that. So, and then on top of that, she's an alcoholic. So we know that, you know, Laverne done went through some shit, because she got 2 different baby daddies. She's struggling. Her kids are running around in the street. You know, her son is doing, her oldest son Brandon, he got the hell away from her. And then you got Krugy, he's out here riding his bike all types of night, feeding dogs, because he don't want to go home. You know, he'd rather have a conversation with a dog than his mother. And it seems like he's unsupervised as well. So it seems like it's like living with Laverne was probably hell, because, you know, she's probably been abused, she's probably suffered, you know, she probably picked the worst guys to have a relationship with, or she could have destroyed the relationships herself. But right now she's nothing but an alcoholic, and she got her a little little case, a little bottle with her, you know what I mean? Like, and she's just drinking and she's just talking shit to, Jerrika, because she's jealous of Jericho's success, and jealous that Jericho has love, and she's waiting to have kids and waiting to get her life together before she runs out there and make, a big financial decision by having a child. And she has a man that loves her and that lives with her and supports her. So it's just crazy. So anyways, they go down to the police station, and Krugi he's released or whatever to the mom and Brandon. And so then Brandon tells, Laverne that, hey, listen, I want, Krugi to stay with me for a while, Blase in the third. So she agrees to let, Krugi stay with her. And she was like, what, you don't want to come home with me? Of course not. Look how drunk you are and crazy you are, like just acting. And so, and you see Krugi, he was like, yes, word. He wants to get away from his mom. He wants to get away from the neighborhood. And plus, he ain't shocked about the dead body or whatever, because, he still got the gold chain and the sneakers that he robbed of the dead body of Jason and stashed it somewhere. So basically, he's having a good time with Brandon and Jericho. And he sees that his brother, is in a loving relationship, and he's about to be promoted to line cook, because Brandon wants to have his own restaurant with Jericho in the future, and he want to get experience and things like that, so he can put it down on his resume, and also to be like a chef at his restaurant with Jericho that they're going to build together. So they're also building a foundation, a business foundation, a love foundation. And also, Jericho is open to having Krugi in her house to stay, and they're eating food. I think it was eating sushi or some type of food or whatever. And, Krugi's like, he's cool. He's happy with it. And so, Brandon gave Krugi the keys to the house and tell him when to come, keep in contact or whatever, Blase in the third. And, so Krugi is liking that situation, because you can tell Krugi's a good kid. He's a smart kid, but he just needs some guidance and somewhere to go and something to do, a direction basically. And he needs structure, and he does not have that at home with his mom. And his father is MIA. We don't know if his father is deceased, or if his father's on drugs, or if his father just disappeared because of the relationship he had with Laverne. So I guess we'll find that out later on in the season. And so Krugi, he goes to pick up the bike, and he goes to pick up his book bag, and he sells the sneakers to, Emmett, because, Emmett loves nothing but sneakers. So he sells the sneakers to Emmett, and Emmett, Emmett's in his mom's house having sex with Keisha, which is Kevin's, sister. And basically she's having sex with Emmett. And then before they go all the way, she was like, are you still gonna get them sneakers for my brother or whatever? So it seems like she's using her body too as well to get what she need, even though she was gonna have sex with Emmett anyway. And Emmett has a bunch of kids, and she's supposed to be in school, and she's cutting school, and she's having sex with Emmett. Emmett's in the house getting high and having sex. The mom comes in, finds out that he got company, and she was like, yo, if you're gonna be getting high and having sex in here, it's about time you pay some bills up in this piece. I'm just like, yo, what's going on with this situation? And so that situation is just crazy. So Krugi, he goes sells the sneakers to Emmett, and he put on the gold chain. I was like, damn, I know the hood, the streets, because you was quickly to take a dead man's items, but you will wear the chain. But see, it tells you that he's still young-minded, because why would he wear the chain of a person that got killed, and he was at the scene of the crime, and then people in the neighborhood is gonna know where that chain came from, and anybody that is cool with Jason is gonna know that that's Jason's chain. But Krugi, he wants to wear the chain. He's feeling he doesn't think anything of it. He thinks it's all good, but he don't know that chain is going to ultimately end his life. This is why, like, the shit in this so far has come full circle. And so we see, Brandon is doing good at the job, and basically it seems like the chef's, wife kind of feeling Brandon. Like, I don't know where this was gonna go. I hope she doesn't play a role in Brandon breaking up with Jericho, or him losing his job there. But he's also going to start his own business. So he's about to be, they've been talking about promoting Brandon to the line or whatever, so he can up his game or whatever. So it seems like it's a good thing. And so it's just crazy. So then anyways, so then after that, we got Kevin, we got Jay, and we got Papa. And basically, Kevin has a crush on Roshanda, he has a crush on Roshanda. Basically, he's gonna sign up for a play. He likes her, and But you know what? Guess who beats him to the stake? Jake beats, Kevin to asking out Roshonda, because when, Kevin went to go ask out, Roshonda, she was like, well, I can't go with you this weekend because I'm going to the movies with Jake. He asked me first, and so Kevin's upset about that. He felt bad about that, especially Kevin is his boy. I mean, Jake is his boy, so he's just like, damn. So he's feeling some type of way. I'm like, okay, here we go. But it's like you could see Kevin heart was broken, like he was running, whatever. Remember having a crush on somebody, but I couldn't even go on dates when I was that age. Me talking about going to the movies, yeah, freaking right. So, anyways, so Tracy, she's talking to Ronnie. She was like, yo, we got to find out what happened to my son. It was like, you always took care of me. You always was there. Like, you got to find out what happened. You got to find out who did this to my son. Like, you was always there. And so, Ronnie was like, yeah, he was my son too. I loved him too. So it's like Tracy is kind of like guilting Ronnie into doing something negative. So if Ronnie finds out who killed, Jason, it's not like Tracy or Ronnie are going to run and go tell the police. It seems like they're going to take revenge on their own. That's just what's going to happen. And so Tracy is pushing Ronnie to really get into it, to find out what happened and what went down. And she's like, the cops ain't gonna do nothing, they don't care, whatever. And then she's also using it as a way, like she's crying, she's looking at him, and he's feeling hurt too, and he's feeling like he needs to be the man. And you already know that, Ronnie loves Tracy, he's in love with her, and he wants to be with her. He still think about her every day, basically. And I think she's using that power that she knows that Ronnie wants to be with her, to have him out here in these streets, running the streets or whatever, to take another man's life, to take another child's life. And because she wants revenge, and you can't fault them from wanting revenge, because when you're going through grieving, there's all different types of stages of grieving or whatever. And so one of them is sadness, the other one is revenge, another one's guilt. And so right now she's at the stage of revenge, and she wants revenge. And you can't blame her for that, but damn, you too old to be doing that. But someone took her son's life, and she wants an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. So I'm just like, damn, Ronnie, you're too old to be running these streets like this, talking about you're gonna be doing investigations. So it's just like, damn, it seems like it's going down. And so then Ronnie, he's coming out his house, and he talks to Curtis, one of the two guys that are outside in front of his house all the time. And they was like, yo, one of the, Doughboy's corner or whatever, one of his lookouts saw what happened or whatever, so go over there and holler at them. They know you're going to be coming through. So Ronnie's doing his investigation. So his ear is in the street, his eyes are in the street as well, and people will talk to him. So he has some type of credibility in the street. So, Ronnie runs over there and talk to the Doughboy, and he was like, yo, I ain't never seen Jason over here before. So that gives validity to the Jason was probably really at a party, and he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, and he's not selling drugs, but we'll find out later. So anyways, the Doughboy is telling, Ronnie, one of my lookouts saw what happened or whatever. And so they call him over. His name is Stickums or whatever, a Stick. Called Stickover. Stickums. Who's Stickum? That's from another show, but called Stickover. And Stick was like, yeah, it's this little boy that he's always around. He's always riding his bike. He got a big ass afro or whatever. And he hangs around this store. He'd be over at the store all the time. And it's just like, yeah, so it is what it is. It's like everything's coming full circle. So now Ronnie's getting information faster than the cops. But no, not really, because the cops already cleared, Kruger. They already cleared him, like he didn't have anything to do with it. So Ronnie is going to be on the lookout to get revenge, and now he knows where this kid is going to be at. So he's going to be watching the store, he's going to be around the store or whatever. So now we're getting to the scene where Kevin is confronting Jake, like they're arguing, they're pushing each other, whatever. And then Kevin runs off because he finds out that Jake asked out Roshonda, Roshonda, I think it's Roshonda, asked out Roshonda, whatever. He's upset or whatever, and Jacob was like, you should have asked her first, you was taking too long. And then all of a sudden, as Kevin is running away from the crowd of his friends, Papa and Jake, we see Ronnie catches up to Krugy, because Krugy's always at that store, whatever. And plus, Krugy's a good negotiator. He's smart. He's good at math and things like that. And so Ronnie runs up to him and was like, "Yo, you killed my son. You got on my son's chain or whatever." And hold it. And so then Ronnie was like, "Huh, you can?" Krugy was like, "Huh, you can have the chain. I talked to the cops. They cleared me. He was already dead before I got there." And then so once Ronnie see the chain, he's just convinced, because with his anger, his madness, and he wants to prove that he's a man. He wants to prove that he can still protect his family and also please Tracy at the same damn time, and then also take his guilt away for not being there for Jason. Like, I guess he wanted to be there for Jason, and him not able to do that, this is the way that he can repay the situation back by taking Krugy's life. And he pulled out the gun. He got the hammer and everything. So he pulled out the gun and he shot Krugy, but I don't know if it seems like he did mean to shoot him, or he was going to shoot him, or did the gun go off by accident, but he shot him. And it seems like he was intoxicated, he was drinking, whatever. And it's just like, damn, I don't think, Ronnie could even notice that Krugy was just a little kid, just like his son. Jason was a kid. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter if he really had the right evidence. It didn't matter what Krugy said. It didn't matter. Krugy said, "I told the cops this and that," but Krugy had on the evidence. He had on the chain. So, he shoots and he kills Krugy. Shoots him right in the heart. Dead on sight. And then guess who sees? Kevin sees. And then as Kevin hears the noise and he tells his boys, even though he's mad at Jake and a little bit at Poppy too, he told him to move over with his hand, and he's standing behind the van. And then that's when Ronnie sees Kevin, and he looks at him, face him, like look at him. And I thought that Ronnie was going to kill Kevin, because that's a witness. Regardless, even though Kevin is a kid, he's still a witness, and he can be identified as taking out Krugy, and and spread rumors or whatever, because usually people don't leave witnesses if they don't want to get caught. But he didn't. He just looked at Kevin. Kevin was like, "I ain't gonna say shit. I didn't see nothing." And so then Ronnie bounced. He leaves. He goes to Tracy's house. He hands her the necklace. They get into the house and she's happy. And it's just like now they bond together, and he actually did something for her. And so they are mourning together, and they're going through their grief together. And they think that, this is going to take away the pain. They still gonna hurt. And Tracy's not gonna be with Ronnie. You can see from the previews. So I guess they have sex, or are they making out, they're doing their thing, and he's welcome into the house. And he was good for something. He was good at this time. He completed his mission. He did his job for his woman and for his family. And it's just like, damn, it's just sad that this older woman and this older guy thinking killing and being street people and killing another kid is the answer to the situation. It's the answer to the problem. But when people going through grief and they're so desensitized to violence that it's all right, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And so I was like, damn, Kevin had to see it. And now Ronnie knows who Kevin is, and Kevin knows who Ronnie is. I was like, damn. So it's just like sad. And so then that's when Brandon, he finds out that his brother is killed. I think Jerrika calls him and let him know. Then the detective shows up to the scene. Detective Cruz that just interviewed Krugy a few minutes ago, not a few minutes ago, but maybe a day ago or whatever, a couple of hours ago. And he's just looking at Krugy like, damn. You can see the detective was so hurt, and he's just like, whoa. So it seems like the detective is going to investigate, but I wonder if the detective is going to put two to two together that Ronnie's actually one that did it, that he figured this part out so much but didn't do the real investigation and really talk to the kid to find out, if he has something to do with it. He just seen the necklace, but the necklace is gone. And I don't think the cop know that Ronnie had that Krugy had the necklace and the sneakers. And we know Krugy sold the sneakers to Emmett, which is Kevin's sister Keisha is dating, Emmett. And Emmett's the one with all the Jordans on. He needs to be saving the money of them Jordans and them sneakers for all the baby mamas he has for a future, for Pampers and for diapers. But in his world, having Jordans says that you have status, you have a little bit of power, you have a little bit of money. And even though them shoes only cost like $3 to make, and they sell it to us for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and people lose their life over them Jordans. And then you got Michael Jordan that owns, like, he has so much what do you call it, investment in the prison system, but it's a money making business, so why wouldn't he not invest? So anyways, it's just like, damn. So then Brandon finds out his brother's dead as he shows up to work, and he's just like, he can't believe his brother's gone, because he was just there with his brother, and he said he was going to watch over his brother, he was going to take care of his brother, especially he told Laverne that as well. And it's just like, damn. And so I was just like, damn. The shit was crazy. So then, now we get ready to have the funeral for Kruger or whatever, and it's sad. And then Brandon gets up there and he says his speech. It was like, we gotta check something in the syllabus or in the obituary, that he was my real brother. He was my whole brother. Even though we had different fathers, he was my whole brother. He was smart. He was this. He was that. He was everything. He was 16 years old and he was still a virgin. What kids come like? Where do you know? Young teenagers that are 16, a male that's still a virgin. He had a good heart, and he was just crying, and he can't believe his brother's gone. I think Meek Mills have a lyric in one of his songs where he goes, he's 16 and he even getting pussy and he gets shot and killed. And it's like, damn, it made me think of that part of the show made me think of Meek Mill's song about that, when he said that lyric. I don't have it down factual, but so anyways, it's just like, damn. So and the singing of the music and at the funeral was so sad. It was like, it was heartwarming, and it touched you, because Kruger's dead now. We just was like, yo, I want to get some more of Kruger, whatever, what's gonna happen in this situation. He's taken out, he's gone. We got two people going this episode, Jason and Kruger or whatever, or the pilot. And so then we got, Laverne. She's out there yelling at Brandon, saying, it's your fault. You're supposed to watch him. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. You had some, like, blaming him for her son and his brother's death, knowing that he didn't have nothing to do with it, knowing that he was just trying to protect him. He was just trying to help him no matter what. If Kruger was still at his mom's house, he would have been still riding his bike and going to that same store, and Ronnie would have caught up to him one way or another, because Ronnie already knew who he was, and he was always in the neighborhood. So regardless of what, Ronnie was going to catch up to Kruger. I was like, damn, like, yo, how do you do that at a funeral? But that's the ignorant shit that happens, where you got an alcoholic mom. She probably hasn't mothered them kids in years because of her substance abuse problem and her probably mental illness, that she's at a funeral blaming her only son that she has left for the youngest son's death, not thinking about what he's going through. Only thing she cares about herself and her alcohol, and have someone to blame, have somebody to mourn. So, Brandon's not even going to go to the intermission or the repast service or whatever, because he doesn't want to be sitting in the basement where his mother's going to be telling everybody it's Brandon's fault. Like, that's some bullshit. Like, that's why Kruger didn't want nothing to do with her, and that's why Brandon was gone. Kruger couldn't wait to, chill with his brother Brandon and stay in his house, and that's why he always rode his bike, so he will never be home. And then the mom is doing that at the funeral, so he don't go. He doesn't go to the repast, or maybe when they're going to bury the body, he doesn't go. And, Jerrika was trying to convince him to go. You have to go. He was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. He's hurting. He's in pain. And, he can't cry to his mother, and right now, no one could comfort Brandon at this time and moment. And then to have the audacity of his mom to blame him for the death, when she should be blaming herself, because she wasn't supervising him, where he feels like it's okay to be out late at night and then rob a dead body. You know what I mean? Where were you at? The mom was probably somewhere passed out, somewhere in some bar. So, anyways, Brandon goes to work, and the chef is telling him, no, go home or whatever. The Brandon was like, I gotta go to work. So Brandon's doing what he can what he knows how to do best, is try to make a better life. And I believe when he had that restaurant, or he get up there, his brother was gonna come right next to him. But his brother was even next to him now, but he couldn't keep him out of the environment at the time, because Kruger was gonna go back to that store. He's gonna go back home, and Ronnie was eventually gonna catch up to him one way or another. And so Brandon goes back to work. He did a great job. He worked his ass off, and he worked the line or whatever. And then Brandon goes to the store where his brother was killed to get the bike. The bike is still sitting there. You got the memorial on the tree. And so then, the store owner comes out, unlock the bike. And then that's when Emmett comes out telling the store owner, get in here, you got a customer. And so then that's when Emmett and, Brandon talking. Brandon was like, oh, that was your brother? Yo, I know, little dude. He just sold me some sneakers, some Jordans or whatever. And he was like, oh, my girlfriend's little brother, saw the whole thing. So, Kevin is running his mouth. Kevin is talking too, because he told his sister, and his sister told, Emmett. So the word is getting around the neighborhood just like that. It's like playing telephone. Nothing stays quiet in the hood for long. So anyways, from that, Brandon goes to find Kevin, because Emmett gave him the location of what Kevin was. And so Emmett goes to see Kevin, trying to get the information, try to give him $40. And then, Kevin wants the bike. Kevin was like, yo, I'm going to keep my mouth closed, 'cause I don't want nothing to happen to me, this and that. And so then they're having a conversation, and they're walking. And so, Kevin takes the $40 and the bike. And he's taking him to where Ronnie is or whatever. I didn't think that Kevin was actually going to show him who Ronnie was, but Ronnie just happened to be sitting out there where Curtis was, and his people's right there. And so they're walking, and it's just like, it was funny when Kevin called Brandon a nigga. He was like, why you don't call me that? And so Kevin was like, only reason why I called you because I don't know your name. So he told him his name is Brandon. So if he does anything, Brandon knows the whole information. Emmett knows all the information. Brandon and Emmett know what's going on in the hood or whatever. So they're walking with the bike, and plus Kevin, with that bike, people are gonna know like he has some type of relationship with Kruger, or maybe how he got the bike or whatever. So they're gonna think that Kevin's the snitch. We'll see. So anyways, Kevin points out, Ronnie to Brandon. And then as he points him out, Brandon gets, a text message saying that he got the job. And that's just crazy. Something good happened to your life, and then something try to pull you away. Like, damn, every time you try to escape the negativity, the ghetto life, even though you live in a ghetto, but you're not ghetto or whatever, and you don't believe in violence, you don't believe in that. Like, you got the man right here that shot your brother, killed your brother, and then on this, example, you're going to be moving up, you're going to be on the line, next to a chef, and you're trying to start your own business. So where does Brandon go from here? What decision is he going to make from that? Because if the cops don't get Ronnie, that means that Brandon might feel like he has to do something, just like Ronnie felt like he had to do something, because it's called, getting revenge or whatever. When does the cycle ever end? So that's the situation. I'm like, damn. And shit's crazy. So I would rate this episode, I would give it an A. I would give this episode an A because we got to learn a lot about the characters. There's a lot of different storylines that are going on. A lot of people got issues, and we don't know yet what's going to happen. We already got 2 people that's been deceased on the show, been killed off on the show already on the first episode. We got the detective where he's going to try to probably find out what happened to Kruger, because he felt a connection to Kruger. He liked them. And then you have Ronnie. Ronnie's going to be deeply drinking some more. And then, it seems like Tracy is going to wash her hands of Ronnie. And then we have Laverne. What is Laverne's backstory, and is she gonna get into Brandon's ear to tell him he needs to take care of business, like Tracy told Ronnie needs to take care of business? And so what's gonna happen to Kevin for actually telling the story? And then if Brandon's gonna take the street route, or is he gonna try to pull himself up? And what's going to happen to Emmett? Is Emmett going to end up selling drugs now, or whatever, selling real drugs or whatever, because now he got a bunch of babies. He just found out he got another baby, and he's just out here having babies, and he can't afford to take care of him. He's having babies and sneakers. So what's going to happen to him? He got a job, but it ain't paying much. So, you know, child support is probably eating up his whole check. He's probably making $10 a week, compared to if he's working at a fast food place, a chicken place, and he got 3 to 4 kids that he's probably paying child support for, or unless, you know, he's giving them money every week. So that's going to be crazy. And then Kevin can actually sing, and he's actually witnessed a murder. How is any of this going to affect him? And how is his relationship with Jake going to be? You know, because now they're all three kind of like, all three of them, Jake, Poppy, and, you know, Kevin, was around when, you know, when Kruger got killed, but actually, you know, Kevin witnessed it. So it's going to be crazy to see what happens, and all that situation, and what's going to happen with Keisha. Is Keisha going to get pregnant by Emmett? What's going to go on? And then also Kevin singing, is that going to bring him out the hood, and is his boys going to come with him? And then I also like that this story, the Shy, takes place in the current year, 2018, 2017. It's current, it's not like old school, so I do like that a lot. And then Jerrika, what's up with Jerrika? Like, what's her backstory? What's good with her? And is she gonna stay around with Brandon? Is Brandon going to mess around with the chef's wife? What's gonna happen with that situation? So anyways, peace. I'm out. One love.